The project that we're doing in South America is really about trying to use remote sensing from satellites in order to clarify some problematic archaeological questions, right? I mean, we have these wakas, these large structures, but we don't really have a good sense as to how large a settlement surrounds them. And currently they're surrounded by sugarcane. Now, sugarcane is very tall, very thick, very sharp, and so walking through it isn't really a good plan. So if you want to have any sense of what was going on there in antiquity, you have to figure out a way to see beneath the cane. And so we're trying to use the cane itself to give us a hint as to what's lying beneath the surface.
One of the factors that seems to be in play here is that there's something about the archaeological sites that changes how the soils can hold on to water. So typically we could think of a normal region where you've got good soil and plants will grow better, they'll be green and happy, then they grow over a wall and there's less good soil there, so they're stressed and they're unhappy. In our research we're seeing something different, almost the opposite scenario, where these archaeological sites are accelerating how plants are growing, particularly sugarcane. So they're growing earlier, they're growing faster, but they're also dying off faster. So we're seeing a more complex dynamic where they're essentially out of phase with all the other plants around them. So all these interactions that are happening on kind of a biochemical scale change how that plant or that surface interacts with light and reflects light. We have Earth observation satellites which emphasize different segments of the electromagnetic spectrum or light, particularly in the infrared wavelengths, and dividing that up into different images. And we can manipulate those mathematically to focus on what's happening with the vegetation.
Once you start processing these images, once you start revealing those subsurface features, we see settlements, we see patterns of irrigation, we see new wakas, around these sites. Remote sensing gives us access to a whole spectrum of information that we don't have access to otherwise. Right? We're used to seeing things with our eyes, and our eyes are great at what they do, but they only see a very small segment of what's out there to be seen. So by using remote sensing, we essentially make the invisible visible.